Hi, friends. I welcome you all to this wonderful 12 days workshop on reinventing relationships conducted by Divine Feminine Sangha. And today is the ninth day of our workshop. First of all, I would like to go down to the founder of PSSM, founder Dr. Brahmarshi Pitamaha Patriji and Swaramala Patriji. And I would also like to show my gratitude to Mrs. Pranahita for providing us this wonderful platform. And today we are going to have a session from a great master, Hitesh Vashisht Garu. He is here with us with a wonderful topic about Yin and Union. It's such a wonderful topic, friends, for which each and every one of us have to know. And Hitesh is the author of the bestseller book called Sundaram Speaks. It's about the conversations to awaken your soul's wisdom. He's also a life coach. He's certified coaches with Alliance and International Coach Federation. And he has also a very good body, mind, and soul connecting coach. He has come into this meditation field with a book called Autobiography of a Yogi. After reading that book only, he came to this path. So, without any delay, let us welcome Hitesh Vashisht Garu. Sir, we welcome you on this Divine Feminine Sangha platform. The session is all yours, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for having me. Uh, Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, everybody joining us from different parts of the world and from our own country. A warm welcome to this session. And at the same time, thank you from my side for giving me the opportunity to join you all here. So I'd like to thank Patriji. I'd like to thank the Divine Sangha group and all the volunteers, Pranahita, Gayatri, and everybody who is working to make this successful and spread the awareness of knowing thyself. So today's topic is about Yin Yang. Most of the times, we all have heard of this word Yin Yang. So today the intent would be to go a little bit deeper into it so that we understand it more and we see how does it apply in our life. So I have prepared a small presentation for you. I will run that presentation for you so that you have some takeaways from that presentation. At the same time, I will follow it with, a small meditation so that we create that inner experience. There are three ways of acquiring jnana, and our ancient text says that these three ways are Shravan, Manan, and Nididhyasa. So when Shravan means when you listen to someone, when you give your ears to someone and you give a deep listening to someone. And at the same time, Shravan is also about reading the right book. You gain knowledge by the experience of someone. And then comes the Manan. Manan is basically meditating over what you have learned, right? That is the next step. And the third step is Nididhyasa. Nididhyasa means whatever you have understood from Shravan and Manan, you begin to practice it in your life because that is how you become full circle. So, friends, I will cover these 2 points today for you, and I will invite you to bring this in your life so that you feel that wholesome nature of yours in your life. So let me just share the presentation with you. I hope all of you can share, can look at the presentation and it's visible to all of you. So let me begin by sharing a small story with all of you. And this story is about a man who lived, in the countryside with his son and a horse. So every day he would take his horse for grazing in the open fields. He would have the lush green grass and would come back home. One day he sent his child, he sent his son for, helping his horse, for grazing. And, while the horse was grazing, all of a sudden something happened to, the horse and he ran away. And this son comes home without the horse with him. And this man wasn't very rich. The horse was his only property that he carried. And it was his only source of income because he would, pick up the baggages of people and would take it, from one place to another with the help of the horse. And now that the horse is not there, he's just there. He's not able to, take his step further. And once this tragedy happened, the villagers, his neighbors, came to, ask him what happened, and they wanted to console him. And when the neighbors came, the villagers came, they said, it is such a bad luck for you. You are such a poor man, and now you have lost your source of income, your horse, he has ran away. What will you do? Such a bad luck for you. And this person, as a reaction, or maybe we can say as a response to what they said, he said, who knows, is it good luck or bad luck? After some days, after 2, 3 days, the horse comes back. And when the horse comes back, the horse doesn't come just alone. Along with him, he also brings 11 mares, I mean, the lady horses. And now he has like, a pack of proper 12 horses along with him. And the villagers get to know the news of it, that he now has 12 horses, one horse, and 11 mares. So they all come and they say, oh wow, you now have 12 horses. What a good luck. It is sheer good luck that you have. To this person again responded and said, who knows, is it good luck or bad luck? So the days pass, and one day his son was riding the horse. And while the son was riding the horse, he kind of fell down from the horse. And he kind of injured his leg, and he had to go for a plaster. The villagers got to know the news again, and they come home and they say, what a bad luck, now the leg of your son is broken. you know, who will take care of this and that and the household chores and so many other things? What a bad luck. To this person again responded, who knows, is it good luck or bad luck? After a few days, there was a news in the village that the war has, it has broken out, and every civilian, every person, every male member of the home has to, accompany the king and the soldiers to fight, because the other side has more number of soldiers. So to match to all of them, we must take our, the villagers also. So all the male members of the home were taken away. Only the old people were left, you know. And while everybody was taken away, the son, since his leg was broken, he was not taken, because instead of proving to be an asset to the kingdom, he would be more of a liability. You would need somebody to take care of him. And then he was left home, and villagers got to know about this again. And then they come to the home of this old man, and they again say, what a good luck you have. All our sons have been taken from our places, but your son is still with you. Such a good luck. To this, the old man still says, who knows, is it good luck or bad luck? So, friends, this story speaks a lot about the polarity. The story speaks about how do we divide our life into good and bad, the good luck and the bad luck. This story reminds us that there is a hidden joy in every sorrow. And at the same time, there is a hidden sorrow in every joy. In every giving, there is a hidden receiving. And in every receiving, there is a hidden giving. In every day, there is a hidden night. And in every night, there is a hidden day. That is what the yin yang is about. This is what we say, that they are married to each other. The yin, the yin component is basically what we call as, the dark element of the whole. And I'm sure all of you must have seen this symbol in Chinese philosophy, Chinese ancient tradition, and wherein they say that how this black and white is intermingled, they are intermingled into each other as if they are married to each other. So the yin is basically the dark portion, and the yang is basically the white portion. In our Hindu tradition, if I were to say, we can call it Purusha and Prakriti. We also call it the law of great opposites. And it can also be said Shiva Shakti, masculine, feminine, all these different names that have been given. And these names put together, they say that how they are married to each other. All of us, try to look for a partner outside. But for you, for me, for anybody who is seeking a connection with the outside world, they first have to have a connection with their own inner mate. And that inner mate is basically the other side. And usually, if we see, it is the yin that is being rejected in our life because it is dark. We run away from dark because we don't like dark. We have fear of dark, and we only like the light because we feel spirituality is light. We feel joy is only about light. But as I said, that these two components, they are in such an eternal play that they follow each other. And it is very tough for anybody to move these aspects away from each other. I'm also reminded of one of the stories that comes from Shiva Puran. It is the story of Rishi Bhringi. So, Rishi Bhringi was an ardent follower of Lord Shiva, and he worshipped Lord Shiva as the complete Purusha, right? The divine masculine. And he ardently followed Bhagavan Shiva. And one day he was given, through his travels, he was given an entry to Kailasa. He did a journey to Kailasa where we say is the divine abode of Bhagavan Shiva. And he entered, and the gatekeepers were there. He passed on a request that he wants to have the darshan of Bhagavan Shiva. He goes there and he bows in front of Bhagavan Shiva and he says, "Thank you for everything that you have given to me." And in order for in order for me to pay my gratitude for all that you have given to me, I want to have a parikrama of you. I want to take those pious circles around you so that I feel that uh, you know that whole attitude within me. And along with Bhagavan Shiva, Mata Parvati or Shakti was also sitting, but he did not pay any heed to it. And he said that I only follow the Purusha, I don't follow the Prakriti. To which, he completely kept himself arrogant. We say that we have a high nose, and that is what he carried. He was speaking through his mask of ego. And Lord Shiva said that if you want to have a round, if you have a, parikrama of me, you can't do it only for me. You have to do it including, Shakti within it, because she is, she sits next to me. But he refuses. He straightforward refuses. And then Shiva says that if you want to do it, it is purely your choice. Go ahead. But she is going to sit next to me, and you have to make, your own strategy that how are you going to, just only do parikrama of me while she is sitting here right next to me, and her shoulder is getting touched by mine. So he thinks of a plan, and then he becomes that little wasp, that little bee he becomes. And then he tries to fly around Bhagwan Shiva so that he could only do his parikrama. Once he finishes that, the Shiva become really annoyed by his arrogancy, his ego attitude, that he after doing all this, he is still not grown, and he has still not understood the Prakriti element, the Yin element of life. And then he says, if you don't like the Yin element in you, I would take back the Yin element out of you. And while the Shiva takes that Yin element out of him, he is left dead. And this is why we say that if you take Shakti out of Shiva, Shiva is nothing but Shava. It becomes a dead body. And that is what Rishi Bringi, understood from that learning. And when he realized that, he bowed in front of Prakriti and he said, "I'm really sorry for the mistake. And my ego has been chopped from this very act. And now I realize that how both these concepts, both these Shiva Shakti, they are intermingled and married with each other." And it was that very moment Bhagavan Shiva merged Ma Parvati or Ma Shakti into himself, or he merged into her. And that is how it became Ardhanarishwar. So life happens in the state of Ardhanarishwara, dear friends. It doesn't happen only in yang or only in yin. It never happens in solely in yin and yang. It has to happen in the place of balance of both, the marriage of both. Buddha spoke about this, and he focused on the principle of middle path, Madhya Marg. What is Madhya Marg? Madhya Marg means to be in balance of both. Between these two eyes, we have one eye. And these eyes are the worldly eyes. But this is the eye that can see the truth. So, in order for us to grow the right perspective. We need this I. Otherwise, we will always be into the ego state. We will always see everything from the worldly state, and we would never grow out. Between our Ida and Pingla Nadi, there is Sushumna. It is in Sushumna that Kundalini rises. That is the power of between. Right? That is what the wisdom of between is, dear friends. So Yin Yang encourages us to follow the path of between. When we follow the path of between, we turn more graceful, dear friends. Then we are not averse to one of those. Either we are too much of Yin or too much of Yang, or either we are less of Yin or less of Yang. We become that balance. And Yin and Yang says that it is not about being perfect. You don't need to be a perfect balance, 50-50 of both. It is about being whole. And the whole says, irrespective of whatever composition you are of, you can still be whole. Right? Because most of the times we struggle to be a perfect person, a perfect godly person. You don't need to be that. We need to be more of natural, because in the natural you are whole. I am whole. Everything is whole. So yin and yang, the two opposite forces that are necessary to everything, and together form a whole. They can't be taken, you know in exception to each other. They are always in inclusion of the other, and they are so intertwined in each other that if you try to separate it, you will end up being confused. Just to give you an example, can you say, did the egg come first or the chicken come first? The way you cannot answer it, it's the same way. We cannot answer, did the yin come first or yang come first? The wisdom of Tao, the Tao says that it is both yin and yang. It is not only yin or only yang. Tao is the supreme energy. Tao is basically what we can say, the one that gave birth to itself. Right? That is what the Tao is. And Tao carries both these energies. Right? Before the existence, the universe was created, it was only Tao. And this Tao gave birth to everything. And how can you give birth to anything? When you have both the elements, the yin and the yang elements in you, the Purusha and Prakriti in you. Otherwise, you cannot create. So that is how the yin and yang are basically the play of consciousness. Right? It is the consciousness that is playing through both these elements. To give you another example, we very much use balance in our life, in day-to-day life. For example, somebody who has who's been you have food and then you see that it is too much salty. What would you do? You would suddenly develop a craving for eating something sweet so that you can neutralize the taste on your tongue. That is the power of balance. If there is only day and day and day after day, you will miss on sleeping. You will miss on resting. And you will miss on giving a solitude time. Maybe you will miss on meditation, reading book, spending time with family. Because these are the things that we usually do, in the late evenings, spending time with the family, reading our own book, meditating, reflecting on all that we've done. And then at the top of that, we rest. So, and at the same time, too much of night also is going to not work, which is why after a day, there comes a night. And after a night, there comes a day. So that is how the balance is knitted. And every act that you perform has a marriage of yin and yang happening. It is an expression of both yin and yang. You just cannot say, oh, this is a yang, or oh, this is a yin. No, there is always a combination of yin and yang in every act that you do. So let me speak to you about my experience with yin and yang, because that came in my life. You know, my understanding of yin and yang grew many folds when I started to have conversations, with Sundaram. Sundaram is basically, I can say it is the parent soul or a higher self, which which constantly, I have conversations through meditations, through in the morning hours. That is how I interact with Sundaram. And it started with me in 2018 when I went for a life between life programs in Quantum Life University. So there was a session which Dr. Newton was facilitating over me, and in that session I came across this energy that introduced itself as Sundar. And from that very moment, a lot of conversation from Sundaram, between Sundaram and I, started to flow. And I dedicatedly spent time every morning to grow that connection, because it took time for me to build up that connection, because there is always a logical mind that plays, kind of says that, is it happening or is it not happening? I remember one fine day I was having a conversation. So usually what I did was I would do an automatic writing with my eyes closed. So I was writing that, and in the middle of that writing, there came a message that my pen's refill is over. So I should check, I should change or replace the pen that I'm using. But I completely ignored that, and I thought that no, it's not that. And then I continued with it. And I kept on writing one page, two page after page, and I had written, I guess, around 4 or 5 pages after that. And suddenly, when I opened my eyes, I realized that the point where the message came to me that there is no more refill, the pen had stopped really at that point. So this is one such example that how I grew my connection with Sundaram. I would not say that it is a mystical being, or or anything that somebody that is very unapproachable or is approachable to somebody who is who is highly into the spiritual practices. It is not like that, dear friends. Sundaram lives in each one of us. And many times I've been asked that, can we connect to Sundaram? I want to tell you that you can definitely connect to Sundaram. If I can, you can. And this possibility is available to each one of us. So that's how my connection started to grow with Sundaram. And I started to write a lot of things, and there came a day when Sundaram said that we are now ready to write a book. And I said, me and book? I don't think that it is a good idea. But I completely trusted and surrendered to the voice, and I said, okay, I'm ready. And that's how this book, Sundaram Speaks, flowed through me. When I had written the book, I shared it with Dr. Newton, I shared it with Patriji, with a little hitch that, is it I don't know how are they going to respond to the whole thing, and but then when I received the comments from both of them, it grew my trust into what had come in front of me. And the book was launched by our dear masters, Dr. Newton, Dr. Lakshmi, Patriji, in events in Delhi and Rishikesh. And within a few days, I saw that the book became the bestseller and it started to, break all the charts. So this is the book, The Sundaram Speaks, Conversations to Awaken Your Soul's Wisdom. And this book is also available in Telugu, which happened on 1st January 2021. So both these books are available on Amazon. You can definitely check that out. Now, talking about Sundaram, the Sundaram's message with, the what I have seen is in the consistency. Sundaram comes from the word called beauty, something that is really beautiful. Now, if I were to ask you, if I were to ask myself, what is beautiful? What here in this world is beautiful? The answer is everything is beautiful. Why is everything beautiful? Because everything carries the element or the seed of Tao. Most of the times we like health, but we don't see the illness in same way, the way we see health. The way we see more, we don't see less the same way. The way we see light, we don't see the dark in the same way. The way we see joy, we don't experience sadness the same way. And this divides our world into polarity. Right? This divides our world into duality, dear friends. Right? And which is why we say this world is a dual. This world is a dual place. We live in duality. And to be Sundaram means to be able to see meaning in all that exists. Whether it is good, whether it is bad, whether it is dark, whether it is light, whether it is health, whether it is illness, whether it is joy, whether it is sad, because in both these things, what is common is the ultimate Tao, right? The ultimate thing that we say, the supreme force that you know, that we all have come from. We've not come solely from Prakriti, we've not come solely from Purusha. We've come from the mergence of both. And where they are one, that is Tao. So Tao in our Hindu tradition, we call it Advait. Advait means the one which is not two, which is no two. That is what Advait means. So that's how, Sundaram invited me into this conversation wherein it made me understand that what is the importance of that element which you reject, which you don't like. Mostly, as I said, that we reject the yin element, we reject the dark, we reject the cold, we reject the sad, we reject the slumber, we reject the lazy, we reject everything, right? Which we feel, oh, it is too negative, right? But Sundaram brought me into the attention and it says that it is the duality which leads you to non-dual. It is the duality that leads you to non-dual. Otherwise, we will never be able to reach to the non-dual, right? It is the craving, it is the search that leads you to your destination, that tells you about your purpose. So, for example, if you don't have the thirst, will you enjoy the sip of water? You will never enjoy it. Which is why there is an element called thirst. If you don't have suffering, you will never understand that what non-suffering is, or where can we find this non-suffering. It is not in this or that. It can never be found. Sundaram can never be found in this and that. Sundaram can be found in the way you look at this and that. So Tao is not a thing, this or that. Tao is the way of life, dear friends. How do you live your life? Because life is always going to be like this, ups and downs, ups and downs. You say, oh, I wish all the ups are there with me. Or we say, oh, I wish there should never be any down with me. We will be the most stupid people on the earth then. It's not about the up and down. It's about the way you look at this up and down. Every up will have some element of down, and every down definitely have an element of up. If only we carry the vision to look at it. If only we have made a choice to look at the beauty in what is being offered or what life has offered to us. Life will offer us everything. Relationships will offer us everything. The relationship that you have with someone today, maybe it is a harmonious relationship. You might experience, uh, you know, disharmony with that person in a few days. Now, this doesn't mean that you should leave the person. It might simply mean that you know that person beyond your definition of harmony or disharmony. That is where your attention should be. When we see everybody, every element, that it has the taste of that ultimate force, then all the ups and downs become equal to us, dear friends. And that is the very secret how the divine beings, how avatars, how our masters have been living. They are equal in both the situations. The greatest virtue of the soul is to be able to see that beauty, because that brings equanimity. All the struggles that we see in life, in the world, all the fights that we see here and there, one party, political system fighting with the other, and all these fights that are happening. Why? Because we are so attached to our perspective that we are not ready to see beauty in others' perspective. Why there is a fight at home? Because we are only attached to our own perspective. We are not ready to see the beauty in others' perspective. We don't see that they are also coming from that supreme Tao. That is also the seed into the whole thing. We don't like darkness, but it is the darkness that has the element to sprout a seed. When a seed is to be grown, if you leave the seed upward, it will take time to sprout. But if you put it inside the earth, it has to go into that darkness for it to experience the heat and get into that process of sprouting, realizing and unleashing its potential. And then it begins to come out. All the miseries that we felt in our life, they were never there to pin us down, dear friends. We felt, oh, I went through this trauma, I went through that trauma, so much happened with me. We stay with that victim state. Had that not been there, you would not be where you are today. So, what you are today is not the sole contribution of the light or the yang element. There is an equal contribution from the yin element. It is the yin element that brings the motivation. Right? It is the yin element that leads you on your path, that tells you, hey, there is something more to be done. Hey, I can do something else also. Hey, how can I serve the world? How can be of true value and contribution to the world? That comes from the yin. All these avatars that we speak about, Bhagwan Ram, Bhagwan Vishnu, Bhagwan Parshuram, why did they take birth? Why did they find the urgency of taking birth? It was only to let go of negativity. So, can you see how negativity is leading to the light? Can you see how negativity, how dark is making way for the light to show up? That is how there is an eternal dance between both of them, dear friends. You see all these yugas, the four yugas that we cover. From the dark yugas, we go to the light yuga. And once there is a light yuga, we again come back. So ascending and descending between the yugas is happening constantly. And this ascending and descending is nothing but the eternal dance of the yin and yang. So this interaction that I had with Sundaram, I would say it grew my acceptance. It grew my graceful attitude to accept the things in with great comfort and ease. All those complaints, it started to settle down. It made way for me to look at things in a complete whole perspective, right? Rather than trying to create or strike a perfect balance, right? And I would say that these conversations have been so heart touching that it shifted the perspective of the way I look at life now. So Satyam Shivam Sundaram. You know, the the truth, the godliness, the truth, the God, and the beauty. The God is true. The truth is that we are God, and we carry that beauty, right? And the beauty comes from here. We will not be able to see beauty much from here, dear friends. And that's why we meditate. We meditate from, we awaken this. It's not just that Shiva and Shakti or divine beings are, the celestial beings have this. We have it. And that is what we are trying to awaken when we meditate every day. I'm sure each one of you have an experience wherein we can call it as a third eye experience. So that's how, this is growing within us. So Zen is Zen. No Zen is Zen. So if I say, light is light, but I also want to say no light is also light, which means dark is also light, dear friends. It is just another color of another color. That's it. But it also carries that Zen. Zen is Tao. It carries that supreme force. It carries the seed. The thirst, the quenching of the thirst, both carry the seed of Tao. The health, the ill health, both of them carry the seed of Tao. So be graceful, receive everything that life gives you, because everything has a taste of that supreme force, not just the good things. Not so good things carry the same way. This is for sure. If we are welcoming to this uninvited guest, you will notice this guest will leave you with magnificent gifts that belong to your soul. You will awaken the true virtues of yourself when you're going to be welcoming to not so comforting things of your life, right? Be welcoming, don't complain, don't blame, don't be guilty. Open your heart as if you will open a heart to anything that you love. Welcome it, love it the same way. You have an illness, you have a migraine, don't make complaint about it and say, oh, why the hell this has come to me. I would say, welcome it. Say, come, I welcome you. And then sit with it. Sit with it the way the mother will sit with a crying child. You will see what happens then. So, the non Zen is not the destination, but it is one of the important milestones. Because if you don't come to that milestone, you will never reach to the ultimate Zen. You will never remember something if you don't forget it. This is why life is a game of remembering and forgetting, dear friends. Many a times, when we hold past life regression sessions, people ask me that, oh, if we remember our script there, why don't we remember it here? We don't remember it. We are into that zone of forgetting so that we can remember it wholeheartedly. Otherwise, until then, it will only be an understanding. It is not an applied wisdom, dear friends. Knowing spirituality is different. Applied spirituality is different. Right? Applied spirituality needs a playground and life, relationships, our family, our sangha, everybody, all the miseries, adversities, challenges, ups, downs, everything. You need everything to apply to make that spirituality, in that applied form. So, which is why Zen, no Zen, they both are same. Light, dark, they both are same. And when we grow that equanimity, that is our highest potential, dear friends. Then we don't need anything. We have become that Sundaram. We have grown from Satya Shiva and we have attained that Sundaram because Sundaram is the way to look at life, to look from the space of beauty. Nothing in this world exists which is not beautiful. Even the mud is beautiful. If there is no mud, there is no lotus. It is the mud that gives way for the lotus to shine and receive that sunlight, to become that glorious one to which everybody praises. We never praise the mud. Do you go to a pond and you say, what a beautiful mud? You will never say that. You will only say, oh, what a beautiful flower, what a beautiful lotus. But if there is no mud, there can be no lotus, dear friends. So, if we want to amalgamate this yin and yang in our life, dear friends, we must learn to appreciate that which we never appreciate. Appreciate hate, appreciate migraine, appreciate cancer, appreciate less, appreciate discomfort, appreciate sadness, appreciate everything, dear friends, because it's not about cancer, sadness, discomfort, it's about appreciate. It is in the appreciate that the Tao, that the Supreme Force, that the Sundaram lives. And that is our ultimate potential, dear friends. So I'm also going to give you some principles of yin and yang because that's how we can further understand them. Principle of opposites. Principle of opposites says that at an earthly layer, at our level, they might look as opposites, right? Positive, negative. They might look at like that. But in the real home, these opposites are actually controlling each other, right? It's like uh, the negative controls the positive controls the negative. So when there is too much of negativity in the world, then God takes birth. That is what Bhagavad Gita says, yada yada hi dharmasya, right? Glanar bhavati bharata. So whenever there is a huge dip into the positivity and there is the rise of that negativity, then comes the positivity, then the God, the Supreme Lord comes in, right? And our scriptures also spoke about this churning that happens between the asuras and the devas, the celestial beings and these tatala beings, right? So they are churning. What is this churning? This churning is nothing but the churning of yin and yang. And through this churning, only from the middle, there could be gifts that can show up. Right? Everybody will be interested to take gifts. Did you see? Do you know that story? I'm sure. Lakshmi came, and Amrit came, and then Iravat came, and lot many Kamadhenu Gai came, and Parijata Vriksha came, everything, as gifts. But nobody was interested to take that venom, that wish, halahal. It is Shiva who took that halahal. Each one of us carry that Shiva element, dear friends. To be Shiva means to be graceful to halahal. That is what the principle of opposite is. Opposite doesn't mean that you are averse to other. Opposite means that you are aware of the existence of the other. And maybe it's not in front of you, but somewhere, on some dimension, some space, some time, it exists. Give heart for it to exist. Have heart for the other opposite. And that is how yin and yang go. They control each other, right? In maybe it is 99% yang, there will carry a 1% yin. Maybe it is 99% yin, there will remain 1% yang. And that is how they remain. So, this is how the principle of opposites work. The principle of interdependence. Even if they are opposite to each other, yet they are interdependent on each other. If the other wants to grow, that needs to be dependent on other. Otherwise, it cannot be. And as I said, that they are intermingled in each other in such a way that separating them is like separating Shiva and Shakti, and separating E from Shiva and making it, what we say is, the Shava. So Shava is lifeless. So interdependence says life is in being interdependent. It's not codependence, it's interdependence. Interdependence is healthy in nature. And to be interdependent means to be whole within yourself. A yin can have interdependence with yang when yin feels that I am whole within. In many relationships, I see people when they feel that they are not enough and they are in constant search of a life partner. They will attract the same sort of a life partner who is not whole from within, who also feels empty. They don't feel the goodness in themselves. They need somebody to appreciate them. They need somebody to tell them that, oh, you're good. And that is why our focus is more on appreciation from others, receiving, positive comments from others. Because we don't believe in our own self. We don't carry the whole attitude within ourselves. If we are not whole from within, we will always manifest the not so whole attitude in our partners, in our boss, in our relationships, everywhere. And then what happens from one relationship, we move to another relationship, then to another, and there is this chain that is never going to break. Interdependence means to know that you are Purna, and it is only Purna that can invite the other Purna. So, our Upanishads have this beautiful Shanti mantra which says, Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnata Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevava Shishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So what does it say? It says, here is full. there is full. And when fullness is taken from the full, what is left is full. That is why so much is taken away from Tao. We take so much from Tao. But do you ever see Tao not being full? We take so much from the ocean. But do you ever see ocean empty? So many of stars break. But do you ever see sky not being filled with ultimate stars? Glowing, shining stars? We take so much from the nature. Do you ever see that there is less in that? Never. That is what fullness is, our attitude, dear friends. Fullness is our very nature. And that is what the principle of interdependence says. That if we are full, we approach the other with full. And that is the healthy interdependence. The principle of transformation. Now, principle of transformation says that one helps the other to transform itself. And at the same time, it transforms itself also. Right? So one helps the other to transform itself. So, for example, if I speak about this in your life situations, your life is a mix of so many ups and downs that you have gone through, right? Where you are today is more of because of the ups or more of because of the downs. I'm sure many of you will say it is more of because of downs. That is what the principle of transformation says. The down doesn't come to pin you down. It's not coming here to finish you for once and for all. It is just a platform for you to rise above. It is just a platform for you to become the ultimate Purna that you are. It is here to give you the taste of that Tao. It is here to tell you that don't be dependent on the situations of life. It is here to tell you that what matters is the way you look at the situations, because every situation carries beauty. Every situation has the element of Sundara. That is what the principle of transformation is. One leads to the transformation of other, and other leads to the transformation of the first one. That's how the intertwining of the infinite, is being played. The next principle says the principle of mutual consumption. They consume each other. Right? It's like within, if you see that eye, that yin yang circle, you will notice that, within the yin, there is an eye of yang. And within the yang, there is the eye of yin. That is how they are mutually consuming each other. If you are going to be not carrying, if yin doesn't carry the eye of yang, what is going to happen is it is too much of yin there. Too much of yin means too much of lazy, too much of dark, too much of, not being ready, too much of immobility, too much of passive. That's what. Too much of being tamas. But as I said, that there has to be a combination. Too much of feminine also, yin means, right? But there has to be a combination of both. And that is why we say that within them, they carry the element of the other. And that is, we say, the mutual consumption. Right? They consume each other from that I. Now, for example, somebody who is a strict boss, who is a very strict boss, right? Who just notices things and would nag people and would look for people to finish their things according to the timelines. And this boss who is inflexible, do you think this person is going to be a great boss, or the people who are around him are going to experience joy working with him? It's not going to happen, because this person is more of a yang. It needs some eye of that feminine for him to be, completely embraced by people, or to be more of a wholesome boss to the others, or to give them the experience of joy. So this strict person needs to have that heart, that feminine quotient, so that it becomes a whole. Otherwise, all the work but no connection, right? That's not a true leader. A leader knows the person, knows, his subordinate more than their work. It's not that the work is done, all is over. No, knowing their people more. It is about holding a genuine concern for their team members. And that can only happen when a person follows, brings that balance. And same goes with somebody who is too much into the heart orientation. That person needs the complete bend of mind. There has to be a complete orientation between the mind and heart. That's how hands can work. Otherwise, there can be no congruency between, what hands do. You are confused. You don't know what to do, what not to do. So, if you see yourself that you're too much into one of the components, I would rather say bring the other component into the picture. Because when you bring the other component, you will see that something begins to shift in your life. Another way to look at this is, see that you you don't like doing at all. For example, you say, oh, I don't cook at all. I would say invite yourself in that kitchen and cook something. Give yourself the permission. Because when you do that, you open yourself to the other energy that you're rejecting. This way, you'll be able to create that. For example, you are more of somebody who approaches the day as it comes, doesn't have any plan as such. I will invite you to create some discipline, right? Some activities that are done in discipline. And when you create that, you will see, when you follow it, you feel more wholesome. You will feel much better than just following the day as it comes. Right? And the same way, if you're too much of a disciplined person, doing everything according to to-do list and trying to cut all the points that you've written, I would say invite flexibility in your life. Make some space for some surprises to come. Right? Say it's okay for the life to offer me some surprises, and I'm open to make some twists and turns and moves, and I'm ready for that. Because when we do that, the day will be much more fulfilling. It will add more meaning to our life. That's how these principles consume each other. So, friends, now I'm going to take you through a small meditation of, bringing both of them together. So, I'd like you to sit comfortably and gently close your eyes. I'm also going to play some music for you. Just gently close your eyes and take 3 long, deep breaths. Breathing in from your nose, hold it for a while, and breathe out from your mouth. Breathing in and breathe out. Another deep breath in and breathe out. And allow yourself to relax. Relax, relax. Just relax. Every breath which is coming in your body is bringing to you a lot of peace, a lot of relaxation. And the breath that goes out takes out all the stresses, tensions, any nervousness out of your body. Waves of relaxation are entering your body, relaxing you more and the way the dried leaves fall down from a tree. All your thoughts are falling down naturally. The body and the mind are entering into a deep state of relaxation while you're completely with my voice. And allow this relaxation to grow. And there is this certain rhythm that your breath is forming, which is soft, peaceful, tranquil. And the relaxation grows. And in this deep state of relaxation, I'd like you to bring your attention on that which of your life that you don't accept, that you reject, that you feel averse to. It could be most scariest feeling, the most fearful thing that lives in your thought or maybe deep in the layers of your heart, the most vulnerable, shadowy part of you, something that you reject experiencing in life. The more you reject experiencing in your life, know that we are making way for it to us. We are giving it away in our life. At this moment, I'd like you to feel that which you reject comes in front of you in a form that you can connect with the most. It could be a human form also, a form that you can connect to the most. But it talks about that which you reject, that part of your life that you do not accept. For you to experience wholeness, the journey goes through this rejection. You have to transcend this rejection, transform it rather into acceptance, acknowledgement. And as this person comes in front of you, or this form comes in front of you to which you connect the most, I'd like you to look deep into the eyes. And as you look deep into the eyes, you do not look from your normal eyes. You look from your third eye, the eye of Sundaram, the eye that encourages us to see beauty in everything. I'd like you to see from that. And as you see from that space, you will realize what is the meaning of this? Why does it exist? You will realize that it doesn't exist to bring you down. Just spend some time with that being, that form, that person, looking deep into that. Be in awareness of your experience when you look into this form, this shape, this person. What's happening? Just look at that. What's happening in your understanding? Just look at that. The real experience of looking from the eye of Sundaram. You will notice there is this certain sense of ananda, joy that will begin to emerge, even if you are looking into something that is, in your worldly terms, not very comforting. This experience of ananda, this experience of looking at it gracefully, is what balance is. Madhyamarg, middle path. Maybe you can hug this form now, this person, this being. You can hug this person. Your hugging is a mark of your embrace. When you do that, notice what happens to this form, this person. How does it respond to you? Just notice that. And you embrace it fully, embrace the energy of the rejected part fully. When the accepted and not accepted are taken in the zone of one, what you become is whole. Become that I am, and it is in this space of being in whole that I experience the balance. I experience the union, yin and yang. Feeling that the light and the dark in you merges completely, becomes that experience of Tao. It becomes that Tao. Reminding it to yourself that I'm going to live my life from this space of yin yang union. Slowly and gently starting to come back. taking 3 long deep breaths, breathing in from your nose, holding it for a while, and breathe out from your mouth. Keeping the palms of your hands on your eyes for 5 seconds and gently open your eyes. That's wonderful, dear friends. Excellent. That's great. That's wonderful, dear friends. So, maybe if anybody wants to share their experience or have any question, you can definitely, you know, put it forward.
Yes, sir. Sure, sir. It was a wonderful session, sir. We have gained a lot of knowledge about yin and yang. Yin doesn't exist without yang, and yang doesn't exist without yin. Is the complete knowledge, that is the wholeness, is what we felt throughout this session. And the story that which you have told at the starting of the session about the a farmer or the villager, is it good luck or bad luck, is the starting point which we integrated into ourselves and understood it very well, sir. And also the story of Rishi Bringi. Yes, we never knew that that is the starting point where Shiva took Parvati into himself. That is the Ardhanarishwara Tattva.
That's
It
right.
was wonderful, sir. Yes, sir. It's not about balancing, it's becoming whole. It's
Yeah.
wonderful sessions. Yes, sir. Thank you for giving us such a wonderful session, sir. And also throughout this meditation also, uh, I could identify the darker side of myself, which I have rejected. It took a beautiful shape and flew out of my body or something, and I felt the wholeness in your guided meditation, sir. So it
Great.
was, thank you for giving us such a wonderful session, sir.
Wonderful.
So, yes, sir. So, friends, I
Uh,
request you
just
all.
I
Yes, sir.
yeah
Yes, sir. Sure, sir.
yeah and just I also wanted to share some more information about this upcoming workshop, a webinar which is coming on the divine balance. It's on the same wisdom that we've spoken today, but in a lot more depth, because we I could just touch the outer layer of it, because since we have a time constraint, we cannot talk, in much detail about it. But I invite and welcome you all to join this webinar, which is happening 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. IST from 10th to 14th April. It is a 5-day webinar, and you will learn to, have a deeper understanding of both these elements, as far as the blend of both the philosophies from the ancient text of our Upanishads, and also from the Western world. We use both these wisdoms. And at the same time, you will learn how one can transmute the sexual energy and can use it for their own benefit. Also, you will understand about your own shadow selves and how can you grow that, shadow self into the golden shadow. And of course, it definitely gives you a way to become, into the space to receive that divine grace. And it's a highly transformational workshop. So if it resonates with you, please reach to us. And I'm sharing the information here. You can always reach to us, uh, through this website or this email ID. And for more meditations, you can always log on to our YouTube channel and subscribe and listen to, all the talks and, the meditations that are there. So thank you very much. Thank you for giving me the opportunity. I thoroughly enjoyed, in this class. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. So, friends, do you have any questions or any experiences that you feel like sharing with Hitesh sir? Please raise your hands and I will unmute you. We can have a nice interaction with such a great master.
Hi, Hitesh. It was wonderful session, and it is always good to listen to you. For the first time, I have listened to you in SCTP semester one last year. So ever since I've been following you, and it's really, really great to listen to you and such a great subject today. It's really there are so many profound statements you have shared with us, and yeah, it's great to listen to you. Thank you so much for coming here and taking your time and giving the wonderful wisdom with all of us. And also, I would have loved to join your session, but I have office in the it is in the office timings. Do you have any weekend sessions? I just wanted to understand. Just wanted to know anything on weekends.
No, this is not on the weekend. This is
Okay,
basically a full 5 day consecutive that's going to run.
consecutive.
Yeah,
Okay.
maybe in near future, if it comes, you will definitely get to know.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you so much. And
Thank you. Thank
friends,
you. Thank
yeah, sure. Friends, with my experience, I'm telling. So anything that comes from Hitesh and Shubhangi, it's a wonderful, and there's no doubt it's worth your time spending with them, and even talking with them. Just sitting next to them is also wonderful. So I've seen the energies, how soothing energies they have. They are wonderful masters, and yeah, I would suggest, if anyone has any chance to attend these seminars, go for it. I'm saying go for it. It's definitely a wonder. I'm sure you are going to like it, and you are going to learn something new. Thank you.
thank you, Ravi. Thank you very
Thank you.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir, Ravi sir, for sharing such valuable experience and for this suggestion. So,
Thank you, ma'am.
sir, shall we close the session, sir?
Sure, sure.
So I would like to thank you on behalf of Divine Feminine Sangha and also on behalf of YouTube viewers and also on behalf of our YouTube viewers, sir. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thanks a lot, sir.
Thank you, Sangeeta ji. I can read your message. Thank you very much. Thank you.